Lynda Randle's life has been profoundly altered by an unspeakable tragedy. The renowned musician is approaching her 64th birthday, and she is experiencing extreme melancholy and anxiety as a result of recent tragedies in her life. She has a powerful and tragic backstory that lies behind her stunning good looks and accomplished career. Did she have it tough working behind the scenes? What changed this well-known Christian woman into who she is today? Listen as Linda Randall shares the wrenching truth of her life, describing both the terrible struggle she endured and the quiet strength that helped her overcome it. Linda Randall's difficult upbringing had far-reaching effects on her life beyond her professional career. She came from a working-class family in the United States and was born in 1961. Although Linda's carers loved her with all their hearts, they were poor and faced many dangers in their lives. Although they, like many other families, went through tough times, Linda and her brothers were always taken care of and loved. Her family's faith helped them persevere through tough times, despite their lack of financial resources. As a child, Linda experienced the good and the bad of life. When she was a kid, she didn't have much, but she made do with love, faith, and singing. The parents of Linda frequently sought solace in their religion when times were tough. She began to do this at a young age. Their recollection is that she felt most at ease and at home in the church. She frequently sang in the choir, and there she first discovered her love for singing. She found solace and relief through music. She had a deep connection to music, but that didn't make her life easy. At times, Linda felt like an outsider at school and had problems fitting in. Her family instilled in her strong moral principles, and although she was a reserved girl who preferred to keep to herself, she never lacked confidence in her identity. Linda had a tough time maturing at the same rate as her peers due to her parents' struggles. Despite the challenges she faced, she refused to allow them shape who she was. On the contrary, they encouraged her to keep on singing, moving forward, and having faith that things would eventually improve. Regardless of the ups and downs, Linda never lost her independence. She is the resilient woman she is today because of the hardships she endured as a child. Her family, her faith, and music kept her grounded. It wasn't until she was older that she realized her trials were shaping her into her destiny. Unbeknownst to her at the time, these formative experiences would influence her subsequent endeavors and alleviate suffering for countless individuals across the globe. Linda Randall's obvious love of singing, her strength, and her faith form the basis of her work and musical path. She has never lived her life without music. Gospel music was a big part of Linda's upbringing because her family was very devout. She found much of her artistic inspiration in the stirring gospel music of the greats, which she would frequently hear while singing in church. The fact that she would pursue music professionally wasn't always obvious, though. First, Linda had to deal with the challenges of life while still attending school and taking care of her family. Music gave her strength because of the joy and serenity it brought her. People adore Linda's writing the moment they hear her voice. She has been singing for therapeutic purposes since she was a young child, and her powerful, emotionally charged voice is the trademark of her music. She distinctly recalls spending hours upon hours in church groups singing and listening to praise music. Those moments when she could completely immerse herself in the music and convey her message through song are ones that will stay with her forever. Music was more than just a hobby for Linda. It was an integral aspect of her identity. It didn't take long for Linda to realize that her passion for singing could turn into a career, and her dream was soon realized. After finishing high school, Linda continued to hone her singing abilities. However, she did not actively seek employment in church music until she was much older. More frequently, she would demonstrate her abilities to anyone who would listen. Linda was also gaining experience in the music industry at the same period. She figured out how to make her singing career work while still honoring her religious beliefs. She finally found success in the Christian music industry. At first, Linda faced the same challenges as any artist. She had to manage her business, remain loyal to her principles, and seize the right opportunities. However, she immediately stood out due to her honesty and skill. She caused quite a stir when she released her debut albums, which were well received. People really related to Linda's music because it was born out of her faith. Through her music, she seemed to have a special way of connecting with listeners and inviting them into her spiritual realm. The powerful singing and sincere words of Linda touched many people, particularly Christians. She gained a large fan base rapidly due to the fact that her albums contained both upbeat and downbeat songs. Her music conveyed a love for both faith and music, and her message of perseverance, love, and hope resonated with listeners. Linda Randall's reputation as a top church singer continued to rise as her career flourished. She gained fame for being both honest and modest. In addition to her incredible vocal range and depth, her electrifying live performances could captivate an audience anywhere she went. No matter how large or little the room, Linda had a way of making it seem like home during her performances. She often emphasized that her music had deeper meaning. It served as a means for individuals to draw nearer to God, gain inspiration, and discover inner peace. Her close relationship with her audience is a big part of why her songs resonate so deeply. As the years passed, Linda's collection expanded and she kept performing across the nation, earning a reputation for her steadfast devotion to her faith and her audience. The fact that Linda has evolved as a singer while remaining faithful to her Christian faith is a significant aspect of her story. She has always been independent and unconcerned with passing fads. On the contrary, she has created significant music that will endure for generations to come. No matter the style, a lullaby, a fast-paced church song, or anything in between, Linda's music always had an authentic, genuine quality that set it apart. Even more so in the Christian music community, Linda's fame grew as a result of her collaborations with other gospel stars and Christian singers. Through these collaborations, her music was revitalized and she was able to reach a wider audience. Despite her great success, Linda remained steady and faithful to her faith. Her music, she said time and time again, was a vehicle for spreading the gospel of Jesus Christ. She considered singing to be her vocation rather than merely an opportunity to perform. Despite her many accomplishments, Linda Randall had challenges in her professional life. There were points in my career when the demands of performing, recording, and managing my family life became too much to bear. However, Linda's faith and resilience were most evident during these challenging times. Unfazed by her difficulties, she continued to be herself. When difficulties arose, she resorted to her faith, trusting that God would provide a solution. Despite facing adversity, her unwavering faith in God enabled her to continue creating music that uplifted and encouraged others. While at work, Linda volunteered her time and donated to several worthy causes, giving back to her community in the process. Her philanthropic endeavors primarily aimed at assisting the downtrodden, assisting children, and disseminating the values of compassion, empathy, and love that were central to her teachings. The goal of Linda's charitable work and musical performances has always been to improve society. She made good use of her celebrity status to spread encouraging messages. There has been a progression in Linda's career and in her music. Each of this musician's albums reflects her maturation as a creative and a Christian, showcased her maturation as an artist, and her deepening faith. Linda has a powerful voice that many people still find impressive, and her music has the power to inspire and uplift even today. Linda Randall's career exemplifies the power of faith, perseverance, and a passion for music, whether performing live or in the studio. It appears that Linda Randall's workload is not going to decrease anytime soon. She continues to perform, record, and inspire within the Christian music community, where she is still much loved. She is one of the most influential musicians of all time, and her music has touched countless lives. Through the ups and downs of her journey, she became the artist and woman she is today. The power of music to uplift and inspire is exemplified by her life. The life of Lynda Randle is an intriguing narrative of perseverance, faith, and development. While Lynda's powerful voice and devotion to church music have brought her widespread fame, there is much more to her story than that. Her story is comprised of her own experiences, her triumphs over adversity, and her unwavering faith. Despite her prominence on stage, Lynda's influence extends far beyond the realm of Christian music. The impact of her music and her everyday actions on people is substantial. Something that fascinates me about Lynda's life is the story of how she began singing. Even though she didn't hail from a musical family, she was deeply involved in church music when she was a little girl. Their home was filled with love and security, and they prioritized music and faith, even though they were poor. Singing in church groups frequently helped Lynda hone her singing skills. She was a gospel music fan since she was a little girl. Her taste was influenced by the heartfelt gospel music and the haunting melodies of traditional songs from her community. This is the place where, metaphorically speaking, she discovered her voice. She was compelled to use her voice to spread the lessons of hope and love that meant so much to her, even though you could call her a church singer. For Lynda, religion has always been central to who she is and how she creates music. She considered her music as much more than simply a profession, which many of her admirers may be unaware of. It was her life's work. Being popular was never her goal. On the contrary, she aspired to glorify God and inspire others through her singing. She frequently discusses the good and bad times in her life and how her faith has given her strength through it all. Her devotion to her faith is evident in the optimistic, resolute, and loving themes that permeate her music. Because of her unwavering faith, she has become a prominent figure in church music and continues to perform to this day. Lynda Randle has been very busy over the years, releasing a plethora of albums and making appearances at countless events. Her ability to evoke strong emotions in her listeners is a constant feature of her music. There are many popular Christian musicians, but Lynda stands out due to her ability to strike an emotional chord with her listeners. She is one of the few musicians who can move listeners to tears with her songs. This is why her fan base spans generations. Live performances, albums, or even just a social media post can all be vehicles for Lynda to inspire and connect with her audience. Lynda has never been one to chase musical trends for the sake of popularity, which is another intriguing aspect about her. Lynda, in contrast to many musicians, has never strayed from her signature sound or message in an attempt to cash in on passing trends or become famous. Her powerful, soulful voice and her authenticity have made her famous. Whether it's singing old hymns or contemporary church music, Lynda has always done what makes her happy. She believes that being authentic and sharing one's talents with the world should be the primary goals of musicians, rather than pursuing fame. The ability to adapt to new circumstances is crucial to her success in an ever-evolving industry, and this mindset is a major factor in her music's enduring popularity. The fact that Lynda works so hard and loves her job is another intriguing aspect of her life. Lynda has been very methodical in her approach to work, always fitting in recording, performing, and communicating with her fans. Regardless, she has managed to maintain a strong bond with her family despite her hectic job schedule. Her love for her family and the importance of maintaining a healthy work-life balance are topics she has discussed extensively. Lynda frequently remarks on how her family helps her remain humble, which is a reflection of how important they are to her. The fact that she is equally committed to her singing career and her family demonstrates her strength, resilience, and ability to prioritize. The many acts of kindness that Linda has done for others over the years have also brought her fame. While many are familiar with her music, fewer are aware of the causes she has supported.